Welcome to Roundabout Share a Story. My name's Lynn and I'm going to tell you the story about how to really listen to a story. Once, a long time ago, there lived a brother and a sister. They generally got on very well together, but sometimes the brother would get so bored that the sister got bored. And so the sister would try and help the brother not be bored, but it was just like a vicious circle. It didn't work until one day the sister had a really good idea. She said, "Why don't you go down to the marketplace and listen to the storyteller? And there you will listen to some interesting stories because stories are full of wonder." Now the brother was a bit reluctant and he said, "Oh, okay." And off he went. He walked to the marketplace, found a tree that he could rest his back up against, and sat down. And the storyteller began. Once upon, and the boy had fallen asleep already. The brother was fast asleep. In the middle of the story, a leaf fell on his head and he didn't even notice. And then by the end of the story, everyone was clapping and saying bravo and well done. The brother woke up. He rubbed his head and thought, "Oh, it's wet. Why is it? Oh, because it was, oh. He huffed and he walked all the way home. And when he got home, his sister said, "How was the story? How was it?" And he went, "It was a bit wet. It was wet, definitely wet. It was just wet." The sister thought, that doesn't sound very interesting. Anyway, the next day, the sister thought, "I'm going to try again. Why don't you go back to the marketplace and have a listen to another story?" So the brother said, "Okay." And off he went with his shoulders stooped. And he walked along and he saw the tree where he sat yesterday. And he thought, yes, that was comfortable. I'll sit there again. And he sat down with his back up against the tree. No sooner had the storyteller said, "Once upon a time," he'd fallen asleep again. Now this time a small child walked past and they were trying to look at the storyteller as well as listen. So they climbed up onto the brother's shoulders. They got a good view from there and they could hear really well, even though the brother was snoring quite loudly. He didn't wake up until they were clapping and saying, "Well done" to the storyteller, and that was the end of that. Up he got, and as he got up, he thought, oh, my shoulders hurt. Why do my shoulders, they feel so heavy? He walks home, his sister greets him and says, "How was the story?" And he said, It was a bit heavy. It was a bit heavy. It was heavy. Oh, she said, that doesn't sound good. The next day, she said, "Try again, try one more time." So off he went, really reluctantly this time. He saw the tree that he'd sat under twice and he thought, "No, I'm not sitting under that tree. I'm going to sit right at the front." And he sat right at the front. And as the storyteller began, the boy didn't fall asleep. He watched the storyteller, he listened to the storyteller, and the storyteller was telling a story about a frog who drank all the water, and all the plants and animals were dying because he'd drunk all the water. And the brother was more and more involved, and the story went on. They tried all sorts of things to try and get the frog to get rid of the water, until a lizard came along with a funny dance. And he put his shoulders up, his shoulders down, he wiggled around, jumped forward, jumped back. And without him realising it, the brother was on his feet, wriggling his shoulders, jumping forward, jumping back, really getting into the dance. And that was the end of the storyteller's story. And the boy got up and he danced all the way home. And the sister said, "Wow, I can see you had, how was the story?" And he went, "It was great. It was about a frog who drank all the water and everything was dying and they didn't know what to do. Until this lizard came along and did this dance, and you put your shoulders up, your shoulders down, you wriggle around, you jump to the left. Here, let me teach you, sister. And they spent the afternoon learning this dance and rolling around the floor laughing. And I think that is quite a good way to listen to a story. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Roundabout Share a Story. We know that times are tough, but if you could make a small donation, it would really make a difference to the work that Roundabout does to support children and young people and older adults. Thank you for listening.